Welcome to Life Settlement Option. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of life settlements to help you decide if a settlement might be right for you. What actually is a life settlement? We're talking about the sale of an existing life insurance policy to a third-party investor. A policy needs to be enforced for at least 2 years before you can sell it to an investor. Every policy has 3 assignments. There's the insured, there's the owner, and then there's the beneficiary. Now, oftentimes when you take out your own life insurance policy, the insured and the owner is the same person. But in a life settlement, what's happening is you're transferring the ownership to another party, and in turn, that party is going to change the beneficiary to be their investment fund. But you will remain as the insured on the contract because the life insurance policy is based on your life. In 1911, the U.S. Supreme Court passed a law allowing for the transfer of ownership of a life insurance policy to a third party. Now, life settlements didn't really come around until the mid to late 80s and really started to pick up more in the early 2000s as the baby boomer generation started to age. How much is your policy worth? Of course, this is the big question for everyone. We want to know how much we can get for our life insurance in a settlement. The 2 main things that go into evaluating your policy is your cost of insurance and your life expectancy. This is why we need to order an illustration and your medical records to help produce these numbers. Now, if your cost of insurance is $10,000 a year and the underwriter thinks you're likely to live another 10 years, that means the investor is going to have to pay $100,000 in premiums to keep your policy going before they can collect that death benefit. Now, the numbers don't crunch that easily. We also need to consider the time value of money. 10 years is a long time to wait for an investment. They could have invested the money in something else, so they need to factor in enough of a return on investment for the numbers to make sense. And just to give you a couple of examples, these are ballpark figures, but someone with a 5-year life expectancy may expect to receive around 60% of their death benefit. If you own $1 million life insurance policy, that means in a settlement, they'll pay you $600,000 to take over the policy. Now, someone with 10 years life expectancy might receive around 20% of their death benefit. So again, with a $1 million policy, maybe an investor is willing to pay you $200,000 today to take over the policy, and they'll collect the $1 million approximately 10 years from now. Each case is truly unique because the cost of insurance varies widely from policy to policy. So let us help you out. Now, who qualifies for a life settlement? Your policy needs to have a minimum of a $100,000 death benefit, and the insured needs to be at least age 65 or older or have been diagnosed with a terminal illness. 20 years is usually the longest life expectancy we get any offers for. So if you're 65 and you're very healthy, we may not get any offers, but we can certainly try. And the policies that are considered are universal life policies, whole life, and term policies where they're still convertible. And you can check your policy contract or call your insurance company if you're not sure if your policy still is convertible. Now, who should consider a life settlement? Folks who have policies where the premiums are starting to become too expensive or they can't fit it in their budget. This may be a good time to consider a life settlement to relieve you from having to pay that premium. Another scenario is when there's no longer a need for the coverage. A lot of people get life insurance when their kids are young, but now maybe their children are grown up, they're successful, they don't need this policy anymore. Also, business partners will take out life insurance policies on other partners as a buy-sell agreement if they've retired or sold the business. This is a great opportunity to maybe retain some of that investment by selling those policies. And then certainly an unfortunate case, a lot of people, their policy is about to lapse because they can't afford that premium. you really want to apply for a life settlement as soon as you can. We need a couple months to get it done, so let's start talking today. If you're interested in applying for offers, let's start with a conversation. I can give you a free appraisal over the phone with just a few simple questions about your policy and your general health condition. If it's sounding interesting, then we can order a policy illustration and your medical records to prepare your case for market. Now, most life settlements on average take about 3 months from start to finish. That's 1 month of collecting information, another to get offers, and then another to close. This process can be sped up if you participate in helping to retrieve some of this information. Other times people aren't quite sure yet if they want to do it and may take a little more time, and that's okay. Now, there's no obligation to accept an offer that we bring to you, and there's no cost to apply. So if you're on the fence, I encourage you to at least have a conversation, and let's go from there. So I really appreciate your time. Hopefully this was helpful. Let's connect. You can call me at 213-784-1481, or if you want to shoot me an email, zach@lifesettlementoption.com. I look forward to talking to you soon, and hopefully I can help you out. Take care.